Hey everybody, welcome back to Brent's Backyard Redneckery. Today, I'm going to be planting a couple fruit trees. I've got a Bruce plum and I have a Santa Rosa plum. I've also got apple trees, fig trees and everything over there, but my wife decided these would look best here, so this is where we're putting them. So they're most likely going to be root bound. I'll show you how to get all of that detangled and placed in the hole, so stick around. Tell you what you need to do. Alright, for this first tree, I'm going to make it a little easy on myself. This spot here, I just dug up a fig tree yesterday and moved it over there in front of my sorghum patch. Now the reason for doing that is it's probably going to be a little bit smaller than this plum tree once it's fully developed. After looking into some specs, they say these grow about 20 to 30 feet, the figs 15 to 20 feet. Okay, and the canopy's supposed to be smaller, this canopy's supposed to be bigger. So we're planting that one over there, and I'm going to plant my first plum right here in the spot where the fig was. A little bit easier with the hole already halfway there. So what we'll do first is start out about 10 inches around to give this thing plenty of room to spread out. We'll go ahead and get that started, and then we'll show you what's next. I don't know how many of you have planted trees before, or bushes or anything like that, but I've found that putting my dirt on one of these bad boys is a much better idea. Because whenever you dump it out on the ground, it's kind of hard to get it all back up. Then you got patches of mud everywhere. It kind of sucks. So we'll go ahead and put it in this guy. Once we have our hole dug, show you the next step. It's one of the bad things about living by the airport. All the time, you got that going on. Alright, so now we got our hole dug here. We're looking at about 10 inch deep, maybe a little more. You're going to want to pull your tree out first. Look at all those roots. This one's not too root bound. I've seen worse. You want to set it in there first. See what your height's looking like, because you're going to want this to be at least even with, if not just slightly higher than that, because eventually it's going to sink some. And then it'll be below the soil and water will run down toward the trunk root rather than underneath like it should. So you can do that multiple ways. The old redneck way, grab your shovel and lay it across it. This one ain't quite flat enough, but you can tell pretty well that it's just slightly a little bit too low. So what we'll do at that point, lift it back out, grab some of our dirt, and at this point mud, since it's been raining all week, hammer it down in there. Make sure it's nice and solid. Check again. Looks like that's about right. Yeah, so we're about on this side over here. It's floating a little bit, so we're good there. So that's a good height. I need to make sure this thing is straight. So looking at it from here, the tree is leaning slightly that direction. It's way over there. We have a guardrail, which I think you can probably see way back there. I can look at those guardrail posts and tell how straight they are versus what this is, and it's just slightly to the right. About level. We're about good there. Go ahead first. Lift this out. Try and shake some of these loose. You're gonna drop a lot of crap down in there. It's gonna affect your height a little bit. But these really aren't bound that bad. Looks like they've already been chopped. Right here, they've already been chopped. So, get a little bit closer look at that. These roots aren't really all that circular, so we can actually just plop this baby down in the hole, make sure it's level, and then fill it up. All right. Straight that direction. And we'll level that direction. So this tree is ready to be refilled. Our height, double check it. Still floating on that side, so we're good. Now we'll just fill in the hole, and then we'll come back and see what it looks like. Guy down here. A little worm I dug up. There's quite a bit in here, so you know the soil's pretty decent. I'll get him buried back under there. Whoop. Finish up this tree and then start on the next one. All right. Now, got everything back in here. It's nice and hard packed. I had to throw extra dirt in there and tamp it down by hand because it's so muddy it's sticking to the back of my shovel. Your last step you're going to want to do is put something around it, mulch, rocks, sand, compost, whatever you choose, whatever you think looks best. I don't really go for it for the gonna feed me all 9 months. I don't believe that crap, but anyway, what I've got is just a potting mix. Feeds up to 9 months. Nah, whatever. I just want it to look pretty. So let's take that, dump it on here, spread it out to where once this is finished, it'll be beautiful. And make sure you keep a little room in there around the trunk here so you don't get it all covered up and unable to breathe. Believe it or not, as my dad once told me, right there is where the thing breathes, boy. Don't cover it up, you kill it. So I tend to try and listen to him. And yes, that is what my dad sounded like. He was a good old Georgia boy, lived in Kentucky forever, And he kept that Georgia accent mixed with a little bit of Kentucky all over the years. Gave me lots of advice that I plan on passing along to all you guys and everything that I can. There's a lot of stuff he did that I couldn't do. Like, I don't know, hand forging knives, but I digress. Isn't this beautiful? I have one more to do. Probably pick that up after work because my break's over. And then I'll show you the finished product. We'll call it a day. All right, so I'm not sure how good this is going to sound because it's been really windy here today. I don't have a mic either, so it's probably going to sound really bad. Anyway, I finished planting these last night. I got that one in the ground over there, that one in the ground over there. Let's take a closer look and see how they appear now that I've got everything set and ready to be done. All right, so here we've got the first plum tree. Got it all nice and, well, it's not mulch. As I showed you yesterday, it's just potting soil. That tree looks really nice there. Got the other one over here, same kind of thing. Got the potting soil all around it. Looks really nice. It won't be long until it's just all brown and dead looking, but I think that this has turned out pretty well. They're spaced about 12 feet apart. There's some more dulcet tones of Nashville. As you can see, I've got my sorghum patch over there in the background. So that's going to be nice. Going to be finishing that up soon. Get some fencing around it. We'll be done with that. We went over how to dig your hole, how to pick your location, how far to spread your fruit trees apart so that their canopy doesn't go too far apart but doesn't stay too close together, how to keep your trunk from rotting, having it just that perfect height. So if you've learned something today, you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe, share with your friends. We'll see you next time.